So I was fired today, and
Besties, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking. Kindly subscribe to this beautiful channel. So in today's video, we'll be talking about women recording themselves being laid off at work. Okay, so seeing this everywhere, especially on TikTok and Instagram, where women are bravely sharing their stories of being let go from work. Okay, but why is this happening and what does it say about the work culture, guys? Also, I've put the videos together so that you watch and learn, and I'll be back to share my true sense.
so I was fired today, and wanted to come on because I feel like number one, this happens to a lot of people, and I was really blindsided by it. The reason I wanted to come on, number one, is because I feel like this happens to a lot of people, and it's like shocking and a lot to process. Um, you work for a company with people for a long time, and then to like just get a Zoom or like this was like a random meeting put on my calendar, and it only showed like my manager on it. I didn't know like the HR person was gonna be on too, and then they just like said it very kind of coldly and then they just read out like the severance stuff and just said like, it's your last day, effective immediately, and then just like log off, and you're just kind of like, what is happening? And I think the problem for me is, so they said it was because of a conflict of interest, and essentially at the start of the year, my husband, who worked at the same company as me at the time, he quit because he didn't, he wanted to pursue other things. And at the time, I remember them being really pissed about it because my husband is really good at his job. He's really good at sales, and they just kind of lost this really great salesperson. So they were blindsided by him leaving. And then one day, randomly, my manager called me. It was like, how's it going? Normal conversation. And then he goes on to like completely blindsides me, and he's like, so where's Tanner going? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, he's just figuring out what he wants to do. We have a couple real rental properties. And I was like, he's gonna work on like managing them, and yeah, like, I don't know, that was like it. I just said he's doesn't know what he wants to do yet. He just wants to change like what he's doing. And then he's like, well, if he ever works at one of our competitors, then that's good, and you guys live in the same household, that's going to be a real problem. And I'm like, okay. It was just a really uncomfortable situation, and I felt like my job was being threatened at the time. So I get off the call, tell Tanner about it, and he's like, what the fuck? He didn't have, the balls to ask me directly about what I'm doing, like no questions about it to him when they had a conversation on the phone. But he'll go to my wife and try to get information out of her. So that just set him off. So we reported that to HR, had a conversation about it, and yeah, I mean, it was fine, moved on. I like reviewed the handbook and everything, and it didn't say anything about like, family or spouse working at another company. So flash forward to like April, May, and Tanner came out on LinkedIn and said he's working at this adjacent company now. And I'm guessing that's what set them off, because I got let go because of a conflict of interest. And it's because my husband works at a competitor company. My husband, not even me. And I'm just trying to process this. So like I went back to the handbook, and they added that your family cannot work at a competitor. Your family cannot work at a competitor. What?
I just got laid off about 2 hours ago. I think I'm still shocked. Like, I just can't believe that it happened. There were absolutely no signs from the company that it was gonna happen. 9:30, I got a Teams message from my boss asking if I was free, which definitely was kind of weird, but I thought that he wanted to talk about something that we had discussed yesterday. So I was like, yeah, of course I'm free. What's up? And then they dialed me into a video call where my boss was sitting in the office in a conference room with this lady from legal. And they just basically told me I was being let go. And it was super formal, super sterile, which, like, this is why I always say, like, don't give your everything to a company, because when it comes to laying people off, they just fire you like that. I was like pretty shocked, and I kind of got teary-eyed, like borderline was gonna start crying, and I like held it together, and I basically told myself, like, this is my last time where I'm gonna see my boss and be able to ask him any questions and get closure. So I was like, no, I need to like ask him any questions I have. So I basically asked, like, is this a performance thing? Like, was this, I was doing international marketing for them, like, is international just drying up and that's not going to be a priority anymore? And he basically gave some vague answer, which was like, no, this is like overall the entire company were doing layoffs, so you're just one of many. Then they dialed HR in, so HR started going over my severance package, and then they passed me to IT, where like he wiped my computer and had me wipe my phone. Like the whole process was like 30 minutes. And basically I just started calling my family and texting some of my coworkers, and then I guess I found out that like our entire marketing team, like there were, I think, like 35, 40 people. Like, I think there's only like 10 people left. And company-wide, I think they got rid of 20%. But yeah, I've just been sitting here basically for the past like 3 hours processing, talking to people. You guys have any tips? Like, what should I be doing? Do I sign up for unemployment? Please let me know. This is the first time in my career that this has happened, so this is all super new to me. Definitely be sharing more with all of you guys, and I'm just really grateful that I have, you know, all of your guys' support, and I'm excited to share this next part of my journey with you, and I'm re-recruiting and seeing how that goes. So definitely follow if you want to see this next part of my journey, and I love you guys so
I got a random meeting on my calendar. I hope I'm not getting fired. I will die. Someone else is in there. I'm getting fired. Oh my god, I'm getting fired. Hello.
Good morning, Edgar.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I asked, who I think you know, so join us for this call. She is our HR representative. We've got some updates we'd like to share with you this morning.
Okay.
While we originally believed that we would be integrating with, we've instead determined that it was best for us to refocus the agency. Unfortunately, as you may know, the lack of growth and the decline in our client revenue has negatively impacted our business beyond what we can sustain. And it's forced us to make what are very difficult decisions to eliminate roles within the agency. And this includes the elimination of your role, making today your last day. Please know that it was a very difficult decision.
Okay. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Heather. I wish you the best.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye.
So that's a video, guys. So I'm just here to share my choices, like what I think about today's video. Okay, why women are being laid off at work, and also why are they recording. So why are women hitting records during such a vulnerable moment? First of all, layoffs are deeply emotional. Recording it helps some women process the shock and grief in real time. It takes a way to control over a narrative, whether it feels out of control. Some say they want to capture the reality of layoff, raw and unfiltered, for others to understand what they are going through. But it's not just about emotions. These videos are also a form of proof. In a world where layoffs can sometimes be sudden, vague, or even discriminatory, recording the moment can serve as a documentation. It's about holding companies accountable. The emotional impact. Now let's talk about how these videos resonate with viewers. Many women say they feel less alone watching someone else go through a similar experience. These videos are creating a sense of community and solidarity, even though the circumstances are tough. But on the other flip, this trend highlights a bigger issue, the emotional toll. Layoffs take, especially on women, there are a lot of emotional toll, okay? So for many, losing a job is not just about the paycheck, it's about losing stability, a sense of purpose, and sometimes even an identity. And yet, these videos show women turning pain into power, saying this is not the end of the story. What does this say about workplace culture? Okay, this trend also opens up a conversation about workplace culture. Are women recording because they feel undervalued or unheard at work? Some women say these videos are their way of exposing toxic work environments, unfair treatment, or outdated practices. It's a reminder that layoffs are not just numbers on the spreadsheet. Behind every job cut is a real person with real feelings, family, and dreams. Women share their layoff, remind companies and society of the human element, the power of vulnerability. What's really inspiring is the courage behind these videos. Recording yourself during a layoff takes guts. It's vulnerability in a new race form. And by sharing these moments, women are saying, I'm not ashamed of this. Okay? It's still a reminder that setbacks don't define us. If anything, these videos show how resilient and determined women can be. Okay? They're turning what could have been a private, painful moment into something meaningful and empowering. They're helping others. How can we support each other as women? So, what can we do as a community to support women going through layoff? If you see someone share their story, don't scroll past. Leave encouraging comments. Reach out to your friends and family who might be struggling with job loss. Sometimes a little support goes a long way, guys. We need to be kind to each other. And if you're someone going through this, remember you're not alone. These videos show that others have walked the same path and come out strong. Your next opportunity is waiting for you. You got this, okay? So guys, I've seen a lot of videos on TikTok where women are just sharing their moments, okay? So what I've come to understand is that at work women are more disadvantages, okay? More the roles they play, especially they play roles and they're not appreciated, okay? So for example, I think at work women are not taking so serious, like because when you're pregnant you're going to go for a leave, and mostly they consider men, as when you observe these layoffs, they are mostly for women, okay? Women are the ones that identified as lazy. If they want to get someone out, they'll get a woman, okay? They're going to leave men because they believe men are more stronger to work than women, okay? And mostly in the work culture, women are more working in customer services, okay? Yeah, so as women, you just have to, if someone is being laid off, or if you're laid off yourself, don't, I know you know this is the most tedious part, but just tell yourself this is not the end of the world. Something big is coming for you. Me, I'm always believing that if something like that happens to me, there's something which, a big opportunity which is coming along your way, okay? It's okay to cry because everyone has their own emotions. Everyone has their way of expressing how bad they feel, okay? And please, you have to be very strong at this moment, okay? Don't give up. Giving up is not a solution, okay, guys? Yeah. So another thing that I want to talk about is mostly women are being laid off, and I don't know, in this company sometimes they don't think how these women are going to pay their bills, because look, you're being laid off this month and at a short notice, and you have your rent coming, you have water bills, you have food bills that you need to take care of yourself, you have a lot of bills which you need to pay, and some people just lay you off like that. It puts people in very awkward situations, okay? So most women, they end up, I've seen people who are gone homeless, they're sleeping in cars because they can't afford to pay rent, because you know how the economy is right now, okay? they can't pay it. They've come out from those houses. Others are living in the streets, which can be very bad. Okay, so when you are doing the layoffs, give people notice, okay, months before, so that they should know the way forward, rather than just laying off just then there, saying no, you've been laid off, job is finished. You're putting people in awkward situation. You're putting people in depression. Some people get sick, like you don't know where you're going to start from. I can imagine just being fired, just then and then like that. Okay, so I think you should also be considering all that. And sometimes you can wonder, why are these people in the streets? And you get it now. Okay, maybe they're laid off from work. They never had any support. They don't even have enough money in their bank account to pay all the rent, the tax. Okay, so let's be mindful, and let's also learn to be kind to each other. Kindness go a long way. If your friend has been laid off, let's encourage each other rather than going to comment something which is very bad. Okay, so let's do that. We need to learn to do that. We need to learn to love each other. We're going to go a long way like that. So guys, thank you so much for watching my videos. I'll appreciate so much. See you in my next episode.